Last night, on an uncomfortable night, the Royals thought they had a comfortable lead. After freezing for 8 innings, Tim Collins and Joakim Soria had difficulty throwing strikes. But when they did, the defense was there. In the end, the Royals held on barely by 1 run. Game 3 with Seattle is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. The rain is gone, but it's still going to be a rough day at Kauffman Stadium today. It is windy and it is cold as the Royals go for their 4th consecutive win. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Ryan Lefevre with Royals Hall of Famer Frank White. And it could also be a rough day today for the Royals because they're facing Felix Hernandez, who won the Cy Young last year. And, Frank, we've been talking about how the offense has really spread out their production evenly. You could say the same about the Royals' defense.
Well, you really can, Ryan. And one thing that we know for sure is when the pitching is really good, they're throwing a lot of strikes, putting the ball in play. The defense usually follows right in line. And I think that's the reason you've been able to see the defense play the way they have to this point.
Highlights, and you could go with every single position. Catcher, first base, Chris Getz and Alcides Escobar have hooked up nicely. Mike Aviles at third base, Alcides Escobar. And there's been great play in the outfield.
And I think that's just relation to each other, just playing off of each other. One guy makes a great play, the next guy feels like he's got to make the next play. So I think the pitching sets the tone, and the defense has really done a good job keeping up.
Speaking of pitching today, the Royals are going up against King Felix. And for the Royals, it's Sean O'Sullivan, who makes his first start of the season. And we'll talk about the matchup when we come back. Baseball is brought to you today by the Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. Just like Zach Greinke, Felix Hernandez won the Cy Young with a low number of wins compared to history. They both suffered from a lack of run support.
And Ryan, as a starting pitcher, that's one thing they can't control is run support. All they want to do is go out there and give their teams an opportunity to win the game, and that's what Felix Hernandez does every time he takes them out.
Sean O'Sullivan was hoping to make the rotation out of spring training. It didn't work out that way. He'll start today. He had a good finish to last season.
A good finish to last season, a good finish as a starter. A little uncomfortable coming out of the bullpen, and that might be the reason the ERA is where it is today.
He's going to get some speed in the Royals lineup today as Gerard Dyson will be in center field. Melky Cabrera will shift over to right. And no changes on the infield from last night's game. Matt Traynor will be back at the plate for Sean O'Sullivan, as he is with all the right-hand pitchers. And the Royals will get that element of speed as Gerard Dyson will get his first start. He leads the Royals in stolen bases, even though he doesn't have an official at-bat. That will change today. It's the Royals and the Mariners, and the first pitch is next. In high definition, brought to you by Time Warner Cable, where HD is free with digital cable. Here's the Seattle lineup today, and they had only 6 hits in game 1, 5 hits last night, so their team batting average has gone down to 214. They were at 220 when the series began. And before we get started, let's go out to right field and welcome in Joel Goldberg.
Ryan, thank you very much. We just saw Gerard Dyson as he is heading out now to the field. I saw him earlier today, and it was a little bit earlier. He was wearing a ski cap indoors. I said, Gerard, how do you like the cold? He said, I hate it. I will do whatever it takes to warm up, sit by the heaters. The good news is it is starting to warm up here. Here's the other good news. If Gerard Dyson can get on base, and he knows that is the key for him today, he is going to do everything he can to get under the skin of Felix Hernandez. He says he wants to get in his head. He wants to rattle him. That is a big goal, but first and foremost, he's got to get on the base path. Sky?
All right, thank you, Joel. And the Mariners will be facing Sean O'Sullivan for the first time. O'Sullivan coming over to the Royals from the Angels, so a division rival of Seattle, but he never faced the Mariners. And the San Diego kid is going with the short sleeves on a cold, windy day in Kansas City, although it is supposed to warm up into the 60s. He gets Ichiro to hit it into the air, which is always a good thing, and Alex Gordon backs up, and 2 pitches into it, there is 1 away. The wind has pushed all of the clouds out, but the wind will make it a treacherous day for anything hit in the air, especially to right field. Right now 46 degrees, and the time and temp is brought to you by the parking spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The parking spot at KCI. So 1 away now to Sean Figgins. Figgins and O'Sullivan played together briefly in 2009 with the Angels. Figgins is hitting at 170. He is 2 out of 9 in this series with a run scored. Still trying to recover from a very early season 0 for 26.
Sean O'Sullivan's really hoping that he can develop some rhythm as a starter. When you get out of that rhythm as a starter and go into the bullpen, that's a little bit differently. But now he's got a chance to really use all of his pitches and settle down on the mound and get through the ball game.
Good looking change up there to jump ahead of Figgins.
And that was following a pretty good fastball right down the middle. That just be able to move the ball around. And with the way the Mariner hitters are hitting, I mean, you got to have some confidence as a pitcher going out there on the mound. They got a lot of guys struggling with the bat.
Sean has not pitched in 10 days. The last time he was on the mound was here at Kauffman Stadium back on the 6th against the White Sox. And he took the loss in what was a 12-inning game. He gave up 3 runs in the 12th, and the White Sox won 10-7. To the right side. Backhanded by Keela, and to O'Sullivan, 2 down.
Well, Keela covers a lot of ground on this ball to his right, and O'Sullivan does what pitchers have to do. As soon as that ball's hit to the right side, they got to get over there. And Keela did him a big favor by throwing that ball chest high.
So 2 down to Ryan Langerhans, who leads the Mariners with 3 home runs, but batting just 182. And this is his first appearance in this series. The Mariners have 6 hitters on their roster right now who are hitting below 200, and they have 8 hitters that are hitting below 210. No balls and 2 strikes on Langerhans.
Well, that would tell me that there's some guys on that ball club that's really questioning whether or not they can hit at this point in the season. You know, that's too many guys to be struggling this early in the year, especially after having a decent spring.
And that's 3 years in a row for Seattle. They had a big turnaround in 2009, mostly because of pitching and defense. It was not a good year on offense, and it was even worse last year. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Langerhans.
What makes it hard for manager Eric Wedge is that if you got some guys that are hitting, they may not be the best defensive guy. At least you can put some offense on the field. Right now, when he makes the lineup, he doesn't know who's going to hit.
He is without his regular center fielder, Franklin Gutierrez, a Gold Glover. So it's been Michael Saunders the first 2 games in center field, and then Langerhans today. Eric Wedge got the Cleveland Indians in 07, 1 game away from the World Series. And he knows a little bit about turning things around. His first year as manager of the Indians, they won 68 games. But 4 years later, they won the division and got to the American League Championship Series, where they were beaten by the Red Sox. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Former Wichita State Shocker, and then was drafted by the Boston Red Sox. Just a little high.
Ball had a lot of run, started inside, Langham gave up on it, and the ball runs back out over the plate. That's a tough pitch to lay off of when you got 2 strikes on you right there.
So a 2-out walk, and that brings up Jack Cust, who is off to a 163 start. He was 0 for 3 in last night's game, but he is one who is not afraid to take a walk, and late in the game he walked and scored a run as the Mariners tried to rally late but fell a run short. Cust's power numbers went down last year for the A's, although he began the season in the minor leagues, but his batting average went up. A .245 career hitter. He hit .272 last year. Big home runs, big walks, big strikeouts.
And that's the danger when you're not hitting and you're not hitting home runs. Then can you get enough walks? Yeah, you almost have to be able to put some numbers on the board and definitely hit some home runs.
Royals are playing him to pull. He goes to the opposite field. Alex Gordon makes the play, and it's a scoreless first for O'Sullivan. Here's the Royals lineup today, and Jarrod Dyson gets his first start. He has 3 stolen bases already for the Royals, so Chris Getz will move down to the number 2 spot. Alex Gordon got last night off, so he's back in there with a 9-game hitting streak, and Melky Cabrera moves down to the number 6 position. All to face right-hander Felix Hernandez, who won the Cy Young last year with 13 wins. So based on history, that was a very low win total, but he got 21 out of 28 first place votes.
When Zach won with 16 wins, everybody thought that was a kind of a borderline whether he would make the cut on the Cy Young Award. So 13 wins shows how good Felix Hernandez's numbers actually were. I think the voters probably took into consideration that he can't control how many runs he gets, only what he can do on that hill out there.
And he's behind Jarrod Dyson, 3 balls and no strikes. So Dyson starts for the first time and he leads off. He has 1 plate appearance and has a sacrifice bunt, so no official at bat. The count is 3-1. The last time the Royals faced Felix Hernandez was in a spring training game, and they knocked him all over surprise with Jarrod leading the way. He had 3 hits, 3 infield hits. And he was, when he got to first base, he wasn't done running. So as far as the regular season stats go, this is his first plate appearance against Hernandez, but he's faced him recently, and he begins the game with a walk. And it was those numbers that helped Girard make the club, even though he's going to be a part-time player.
Well, you're right, Ryan. And I tell you what, that first at bat had not played. That showed a lot of patience on his part to take that 3-2 pitch borderline low.
The Royals have greatly improved their on-base percentage. They lead the league now in walks and in on-base percentage, which has just gone up with Dyson's walk, but Royals had a 344 mark before the game began. And because of that, the Royals are second in the league in runs scored.
I know Joe reported that Dyson was going to do everything that he could to disrupt Felix's timing on the mound. So far, he's done that just by getting on base, and Felix Hernandez remembers him from spring training. So I think just being able to divide that attention should help the number 2 hitter here, and Chris Getz get him a good pitch to hit.
And this is where you have to take one for the team when you're the number 2 hitter. You might have to take some hittable pitches to give the runner a chance to go. And Getz lines it towards left field. Saunders makes the catch, 1 down. Ram Trucks will show us the Mariners defensively. Saunders shifts over to left. Ryan Langerhans is in center. On the infield, no changes from last night except for Justin Smoke, who's back in there at first. And Chris Jimenez is back at the plate for Felix Hernandez. Former Royal Miguel Olivo started the first 2 games, but he's in a deep slump. 0 for his last 25.
Ryan, I think you're right about Chris Getz and Dyson. What they have to do before the game is say, if you get on base, are you going to go early? Are you going to go late? And just be patient and give him a chance to steal that base. And I think that Chris got 1 strike on him and was afraid to give up that second strike.
That's the one position in the batting order, or maybe the one that stands out more than the others, the number 2 spot, where the numbers really don't tell you whether that is a productive guy in that spot or not.
I totally agree. If you got a guy like Dyson that can run, you got to give him every opportunity to steal that base. And even if you're down to your last strike, you got to figure out a way to get him over to third base. And I think that patience, for the most part, following a fast guy on the base is crucial for a second place hitter.
I mean, you think about all the positive statistics that are obvious. Dyson, leadoff walk, on base percentage. He steals a base, stolen base. Number 2 hitter hits a ground ball to the right side. He's 0 for 1. Number 3 or number 4 hitter drives him in. They get an RBI.
And even the number 2 hitter, even if he steals second base, you still have a chance to drive him in. So there's some pluses there all the way around.
And Alex is reaching and a routine fly ball to left field. And again, it's Saunders. So Dyson still at first base, and now there are 2 outs. And now Hernandez hooks up with Billy Butler, who continues to punish the Mariners. He has an excellent career average against Seattle, well over 300. But last year he hit .433, and now in this series he is 4 out of 7. Curveball is down and away. Here's today's league leaders, brought to you by your Kansas City area Toyota dealers. And the top 3 batting averages in the American League. And Billy Butler following only Alex Rodriguez and Yunel Escobar. Two balls and no strikes. So .433 last year against Seattle, .353 overall. And in 30 games, he's driven in 23 runs. He has 2 RBIs in this series. Billy batted 3rd last night with Alex Gordon getting the game off.
Hernandez is doing a good job of varying his time to delivery to Dyson, and really got him a little jumpy over there because his timing is off from not playing a lot. So he's holding the ball one time, he's slide stepping, and he just mainly just changing all the different things that he can do over there to break his timing. But
maybe as a result, he hasn't given Billy Butler his full attention, and he's fallen behind 2-1. Dyson runs, it's a strike, and Jimenez's throw is not in time. Dyson was able to hang on to the bag. And he had to hang on with both hands.
Well, that's when you slide a little late like that, you got so much momentum going. That's why I say, as a defensive guy, you stay with the tag all the way through. But you see how he got the corner of the bag and held on to it. And they probably, I tell you what, he's going to feel that in the shoulders right there, holding on. Good thing that base doesn't move.
So 2-2 on Butler, and now he has a runner in scoring position. Saved by Jimenez. It rolls behind him, but Dyson stays put. 3-2.
Let's see, Ryan, you get a guy coming in that fast, and he's sliding like that going over the base. Just as a guy making a tag, just stay with him all the way through, and you might be able to just help him a little bit further off the bag. So not that it's not a cheap play, just bang, you just stand with that tag all the way through the play. And a lot of times they come off the bag by a couple of inches, and you can get it out right there.
Struck him out. So Dyson leads off. He gets on base, but he's stranded at second. Today. Happy birthday, Paul. A reminder to look for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment later in today's game. Sean O'Sullivan walked Ryan Langerhans in the first inning, otherwise no damage. It'll be Justin Smoke, Luis Rodriguez, and Michael Saunders here in the second inning. And O'Sullivan got that call, which appeared to dip below the knees. 0-1 on Smoke. Coming on late as a pinch hitter in the ninth. Last night he walked with the bases loaded, driving in one of the 3 runs. He's down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Sean O'Sullivan would like to remain in the starting rotation. At this point in his career, the numbers show that he is better as a reliever. This is his 25th career start in the big leagues. He has also made 9 appearances out of the bullpen. And the numbers to this point really aren't close. An ERA over 6 as a starter and a little over 3.5 as a reliever. And he gets a strikeout of Justin Smoke. Here's today's video fan question of the day.
Hi, I'm Lori from Salina, Kansas, and I have a question for the guys up in the booth. There have been a lot of good defensive plays this year. What do you think has been the best so far?
Well, Ryan, I picked Melky Cabrera's play against the wall off Justin Smoke the other night.
There are so many to choose from. Left center field, Rodriguez has the Mariners' first hit. So he gets another start at second base with Jack Wilson slumping at the moment. And the Mariners have one on with one out. Mine's a tie between Mike Aviles, who made a nice play on Wednesday afternoon in Minnesota in the ninth inning. That and the play that Alcides Escobar made right here against the Chicago White Sox. I think I'm going to go with this one because of the range, the off-balance throw, and the strength of the throw.
Good choice.
Good pitch at the knees.
Well, this is the other night against Justin Smoke here. He just goes deep in the center field to make this play, and a little face plant on the wall there, but holds on to the ball. Went a long way for that ball.
And even though he has a strikeout, Sean O'Sullivan is a contact pitcher, so he needs good defense.
He just got to work down. And work down. He's got a good changeup, and keep that down. He'll get his ground balls.
And when he's missing today, he is not missing by much.
Well, this is what Bob McClure would say. Look, if you're going to miss, this is where I want you to miss. So he's right at the edge of that strike zone, and he's got to figure out how to get Ted Barrett down there with him.
2 balls, 1 strike. Rodriguez runs, and the throw down to second on a hop, and what a pick by Escobar.
This is a hit and run. But Sean O'Sullivan throws an outstanding changeup right here. Now this is where Escobar does a great job of staying with this hop. Nice pick right there, right back down on the tag. That's not an easy play right there for a middle infielder.
And because of that, O'Sullivan faces only 3. Alcides Escobar is all smiles in the Royals dugout. He's usually smiling. Made a nice play to handle a throw from Matt Trainer as the Royals gunned down Luis Rodriguez. All right, today's You Call It presented by Sprint, the toughest ace the Royals have faced so far. As far as performance this year, it was Jared Weaver on opening day. But you got Mark Burley, been around a long time, Felix Hernandez, the Cy Young winner, the up-and-comer Max Scherzer, or Jared Weaver. Text 432-432. The keyword is Royals, followed by a space, and then A, B, C, or D. And when you send in your text, you'll get a bounce-back text message with information on how you can register to win a suite here at Kauffman Stadium. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Keela. 1 for 6 in the first 2 games. He has also reached with a walk and has scored a run. He is facing Hernandez for the first time. And down he goes. Strikeout number 2 for Hernandez. Final game of this 4-game series is tomorrow afternoon. It's a family fun day Sunday and autograph afternoon. Live entertainment, face painters, and a caricature artist out in the outfield experience before the game. You'll also meet select Royals alumni from noon until 1 near the Royals Hall of Fame. And beginning on Monday, the Cleveland Indians are in for 4. And both the Royals and the Indians are 9-4. One and 1 to Melky Cabrera, who drops down to the number 6 slot after starting the first 13 games as the number 2 hitter. They have broken his bat into shallow center field, and it's going to drop. Melky goes to second base, and he's in with a double. I'm sure he wasn't happy with the contact that he made, but nonetheless, he was running hard all the way.
It's all about the results here, right? This ball was started straight away center field and just started to push back toward the infield. And you can see that no one had only shortstop had the chance to catch this ball, but as a hitter, you just got to keep running. You're disappointed by how you hit it, but then you just got to keep running and try to get to that next base. But he had a couple of doubtful moments there until he committed himself to go to second base.
So we mentioned that in the first inning. It will be a challenging day for everybody with anything hit high in the air.
Yeah, really a tough play for Ryan. Ryan went a long way from shortstop to try to catch this ball, and this ball is being pushed to right field. But Rodriguez, the second baseman, never left the infield on this ball, so that he would have had a better shot at it than Ryan would.
So what happens there? Does Brendan Ryan call off Luis Rodriguez? I mean, why does he stop going out and decide to go to second base?
I don't know. I mean, it's on his side of the base, so he should be the one going out. And
Mike Aviles has his first single of the year and his 8th RBI. Mike Aviles' first 6 hits of the season were for extra base hits, and now he gets one up the middle and drives in Melky Cabrera.
Well, just this hustle right here, Ryan, put Cabrera in position to score on this base hit. If he doesn't hustle right out of the box, get to second base on that blue fly, then he's not going to score on this base hit up the middle by Michael Boone. Just right back over the mound. A lot of top spin, gets in the outfield quickly. You can see Cabrera come around third and score easily.
Inside to Matt Trainer, who hit his 2nd home run of the year last night. Hit it off of Eric Bedard, a line drive that sailed into the Royals bullpen. That was leading off the 4th inning. And Avila slipped. Smoke tags him out. So a soft spot in the dirt, and Avila's simply lost traction.
That was an excellent move by Hernandez, too. I mean, that was about as quick as he gets right there. And when that right foot slipped out from under him, he had no chance to get back to the base.
So Hernandez back to the windup, and he's 1-1 with Matt Trainer.
Watch his right foot right here. When he planted that right foot, it slipped, and the left one slipped right from under him also. Both feet slipped. They had no footing at all right there.
You know, that one there, when you look at the replay, I don't know if you can blame the dirt so much as how high his spikes came off the ground, and then when he came down on the side of his foot. It didn't look like he landed flat-footed and lost his footing. He just picked up his foot and put it down on the side.
Well, normally when they set up in that still stance, all the weight's on the right foot, and then you push back, and that left foot's got to be the one that propels you back to the base, and that's the foot that you were speaking of. May have been a little too high, and when he hit the ground on the side, it just broke loose.
Royals take a 1-0 lead. Is brought to you by AT KCA, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By Panera Bread, fresh baked bread, soups, salads, and sandwiches at Panera Catering. Order online at PaneraKansas.com. And by Chevy, see your Kansas City area Chevy dealer. Mike Aviles gives Sean O'Sullivan a 1-0 lead. Mariners with just a couple of base runners in the first two innings, a walk and a single. Two right-hand batters coming up, Chris Jimenez and Brendan Ryan. Eric Wedge stacking his lineup today with left-hand hitters, the first 7 batting from the left side, 3 of them switch hitters. So you see a right-hand pitcher on the mound, and the natural inclination is, well, let's get all the left-hand hitters in there against him. But when O'Sullivan is on, he is tougher against lefties. And when you look at the numbers and what he's done this year, Eric Wedge, who knows, he may have done Sean O'Sullivan a favor.
Well, if he's got that changeup working against the lefties, I mean, that's the pitch that goes down and away and gets guys to roll over and swing and miss. So if his changeup is on, you're right on that one.
Keela comes way off the line, and O'Sullivan to the bag for out number 1. Once again, we encourage you to email the booth today with any questions you may have regarding the Royals. Go to carsoup.com/Royals. CarSoup will ask you for your zip code Once you fill that in, you'll get sent to a different page and then submit your questions. So one down to Brendan Ryan, who digs in with a 194 batting average. And a good looking slider in for strike one.
He's made that slider pitch a couple times. It's down and it's going down and away from a right-hander. He's been able to get it over first pitch strike.
That slider stays down. 1-1. Well, it's clear what O'Sullivan wants to throw to Brendan Ryan. Slider, slider, slider.
Well, he gets it in the right spot and they roll over on it. He gets his ground ball to shortstop. The only way he can get hurt on it if it stays up, and Ryan takes him to right field.
And a fastball is shot past Keela and up the right field line. Melky's on it quickly, and his throw, a strong one, and Ryan just beat it. So Melky is hustling on the bases, and he's hustling on defense.
And he made a strike one hop throw to second base too. I mean, that's what you want to do as an outfielder: get on the ball, have quick release, and give that infielder a chance to catch it on one long hop. And Ryan fights his ball down the line, and you see how quickly he got there. And there's a throw coming right in just ahead of that. Outstanding throw. I mean, there was no hesitation at all. Just good position, overhand throw, just missed it.
And now Ichiro Suzuki, who flied to left field his first time up, and his first at bat against Sean O'Sullivan. We told you last night, after Suzuki picked up 2 more hits, 10 consecutive multi-hit games here at Kauffman Stadium. That is a stadium record. George Brett had 9 straight in 1979. And Suzuki trying to shoot it to the left side. 1 ball, 1 strike.
This pitch has a lot of run to his fastball. Just ran right out of his hand, just right to the outer half of the plate.
Up the middle, diving play. Escobar, he got him at first base. Can I pick that play?
You can change that. I'll change right with you. This is an outstanding play. The key to this play here, Ryan, is how quickly he got off the ground and got to his feet to make this throw. I mean, as soon as his body hits, he's up, and this throw is often on the way to first base. I mean, this is just an outstanding play to get a fast runner like Suzuki. Body control.
Man. So Ryan to third with 2 down. Outside to Sean Figgins.
You take a look at it here. Now watch his right hand, how his hand stays straight. Now he pushes himself straight up off the ground. He didn't really get sprawled out, and he was able to get himself to his feet and make a strong throw to first base. If those arms go straight out in front of him, he doesn't have time to get up off the ground and make that play.
He would make a good surfer. The way he got up quickly like that to his feet. And I mean, he had no room for error too with Suzuki running up the line. Change up to Figgins. 2 balls, 1 strike. Figgins grounded out to first in the first. Three and 1. Normally, and this is no disrespect to the man on deck, but you wouldn't want to put the number 2 hitter on to bring the number 3 hitter to the plate in a 1-run game. Ryan Langerhans is a 182 hitter and not a true major league number 3 hitter. Could be a moot point as Escobar throws him out. More excellent defense for the Royals to the bottom of the 3rd, and because of this play, the Royals still have a 1-0 lead. This is Kelly Lee, who serves as an autism spectrum disorder specialist for the Lee Summit School District. She co-founded and serves as the executive director of Camp Encourage, with the goal of encouraging social growth, independence, and self-esteem in youth with autism spectrum disorders. She is sitting in the Buck O'Neill legacy seat at today's game. It'll be Alcides Escobar, Gerard Dyson, and Chris Getz. Royals run coming in the second inning. Mike Avila's single got Melky Cabrera to the plate. Now Escobar is batting .236, and at the moment that's just 1 point better than what he did last year. The Royals think that he will develop into more than that. However, the game, in my opinion, is going back to a time when if he keeps making plays like that on defense, you can live with 240 or 250.
Well, this is winning teams have to have a strong middle, and he really gives the Royals an opportunity to have a strong middle at shortstop. I mean, this play to get a fast runner like Suzuki batting left-handed, I mean, it just speaks to what kind of athletic ability this guy really has. And I agree with you, Ryan. If he can get in that 250 to 260 range and play defense like that, and if he can do the other things like hit and run, bunt guys over, valuable player.
Curveball drops in and a strike on Dyson. I mean, when you played, there were guys on the field where their job was to play defense. And, you know, some people say that these days, or maybe the last 10 years, but they don't really mean it. I mean, during the steroid era, I mean, if you were hitting 220, you just weren't hitting enough. Didn't matter if you played shortstop, didn't matter if you played catcher, whatever. I mean, you had to hit no matter what position you played. But I can think of a lot of guys who had long careers in your era and before with the 220, 230, 240 batting average as long as they did their job on defense.
Yeah, they stacked a strong middle. They had a strong middle to drive in runs, and your job was to play defense and set the table for those big guys. But I agree with you, Ryan. The steroid era made the requirements of a second baseman different. I mean, it became more of a power position than a defensive position, and I think that's where you see the big difference now, where 20 home runs used to be a lot of home runs for a middle infielder. Now, at that point, it was, what's 20? And now, again, it's 20 home runs is a big deal anymore.
4 strikeouts for Felix Hernandez, so he gets Dyson this time around, and 2 away. I just heard it said so many times that this guy, if he makes a club, he just needs to make the plays on defense. And he does, and then he gets sent out to the minor leagues or released, and you think, well, why? Well, he wasn't hitting enough. Because you had to. I mean, you just couldn't. Everybody had to hit 250, 260 and have a little bit of pop, because you had to play, you know, a game every night where you might have to score 7 or 8 runs to win the game.
Well, there was a period where your middle infielder was providing a lot of the offense for your ball club. And you go through that era, we had Tommy Herr, you had Robin Yount, Paul Molitor, myself, Lou Whitaker, Trammell, and we all were not only just good defensive players, but we had to provide offense. I'd say probably the low to middle 80s on up to the 90s.
And then Cal Ripken passed that baton on to Alex Rodriguez and Nomar Garcia-Parra and Miguel Tejada and Derek Jeter.
Went on and on. I think around the 87, 88, 89, that's kind of when the steroids thing just started to kind of show itself in baseball.
Just foul off to the third base side. Getz, after having a very good road trip and was on base 9 times, is now hitless in this series. He is 0 for his last 8.
They used to say, man, you had a good winter. You worked out. What happened? Well, I had to lift weights this winter. You know, and if you don't know anything about steroids, you're dumb enough to believe it.
Right.
But when guys go from getting stronger and faster, especially at a later age, 37, 38, and when I could barely drag myself out of bed to play, and their careers were starting to become rejuvenated.
3 up, 3 down with 2 strikeouts against Hernandez in the third. Sullivan and Felix Hernandez, and here's how they compare with the Roadrunner Turbo speed pitch comparison. And O'Sullivan, who normally tops out 93, 94, he's up to 95 today. So fast is even faster, and you can double your speed with Roadrunner Turbo. And we told you in the first inning that he hadn't pitched at least in a game for 10 days, so he might be a little stronger than normal. And what comes with that can be some rust. Not pitching in a game, but no rust today.
No rust at all, Ryan. I think he appreciates that extra miles per hour today. And if he's pitching regular rotation, he'd probably be down that 92, 93 range on a consistent basis. His breaking ball looks sharp. His fastball's got good movement to it. Changeup has got good movement to it also.
Pitching coach Bob McClure has to be thrilled with the work of his starting pitchers in this series. Bruce Chen gave up an unearned run. That's it in 8 innings on Thursday. And then last night, Luke Hochevar gave up 1 hit, 1 run in 7 innings. And a good start for Sean O'Sullivan. Shallow left center. Alex's first step was back, but he recovers. And Langerhans is the first out of the 4th inning. Well, Royals fans, you can get $5 Hy-Vee level tickets this Monday as the Royals take on Cleveland at 7:10. And remember, most Monday Royals home games include a Royal Night ticket offer. So be sure to get your tickets in advance at royals.com/fan value. So we'll get a look at the Indians, and I'm sure the Indians are saying they want to get a look at the Royals. Two young teams not expected to contend are on top of the division.
Yeah, I'd like to get a look at the Indians too. I mean, you've got to have some good pitching to do what they're doing. So it'd be nice to see how those guys are going.
Alex plays it on a bounce. You know, Jack Cust has an opposite field base hit. He's 1 for 2.
Well, he looked like he was going to dive, and then he decided, okay, I'm going to pull up and just take it on 1 hop, which was a smart move to make right there. Then just make a 1 hop throw into second base, so keep that runner at first base. That was a good read on Alex's part.
To Justin Smoke. Sean O'Sullivan struck him out in the 2nd inning. Former Rangers first-round pick out of the University of South Carolina, and then traded to the Mariners last year in the Cliff Lee deal. When he was in high school, he was a high school teammate of Matt Wieters, who was a first-round pick of the Orioles, and now they're starting catcher. How about that high school team? 2 guys going in the 1st round. Smoke out of South Carolina, Wieters out of Georgia Tech. And a soft liner drops in right field. Cust will hold at second base, and that was a good decision. He does not run well. So with 1 out, the Mariners get back-to-back singles. And now Luis Rodriguez, who singled with 1 out in the 2nd inning and was caught stealing. Frank, here's a carsoup.com question for today from Mary Landis of Overland Park. And she wants you to explain the infield fly rule.
I'll take a shot at it. But normally when you got runners like at first and second right here, and the batter hits a pop-up on the infield, it's got to be high enough for the umpire to call infield fly, which means they can't deceive the base runners by letting the ball drop and force them at the next base. But if the runners can't advance if they're on rest.
The batter is out when you declare the
yes.
infield fly rule. Rather, the fielder fields the ball or not. If fair, you can call the infield fly rule near the line if the umpire is not sure if it's fair or foul. But if he does not make the play in foul territory, then it is just a foul ball. Thank you, Mary. And a 4-pitch walk to Luis Rodriguez. And that loads the bases for Michael Saunders. That is the second walk given up by Sean O'Sullivan in his first since the first inning. So Michael Saunders with Cust at third, Smoke at second, Rodriguez at first. And Sean struck him out in the second inning.
Well, Sean gave up the base hit. Then to Smoke, he got the ball up a little bit. Even though it broke his bat, he got a base hit. Then Rodriguez just getting the ball up, and there's a little command on the outer half. It's just ball starting to come up in the zone a little bit more.
And now Matt Trainer is a little concerned. Going to go out and have a word with Sean before the next pitch to Saunders. This is the second time through the order, and in his career, not a big jump first time to second time, but there is quite a jump third time through the order. And maybe that gets us back to why he has had a better ERA in his career as a reliever, and especially as a long reliever. Popped up. Alex gets behind it. Cust is not on the bag, so nobody moves up.
I can't understand why I didn't go back and tag on this play. Right with one out, you got to go back to the bag and tag up. You can't run down the line. I mean, he leaves well before Alex catches this ball. So even if Alex drops the ball, he's got, it's a tough play. You got to go back and be ready to go forward. You can't go back and tag at that point.
Well, and why not tag? I mean, he's not going to score, most likely, but why not tag and take 2 or 3 steps down the line? And you never know. I mean, the fielder might panic and throw the ball up the screen.
And that's where your third base coach has got to be yelling, get back to the base, tag up, and keep him there but he came off well before Alex caught the ball. It might be one of those reads where Jeff Datz, third base coach, probably figured he wasn't going to score and just said, just hang loose.
Chris Jimenez rounded out to first in the third inning. One ball, 2 strikes. Now the crowd begins to get behind O'Sullivan, try and help him through this 4th inning. 2-2. And a crowd that is bundled up today. Right before the first pitch was thrown, the sun burned off the remaining overcast, but the wind still coming out of the north. Everybody wearing gray today. Fox Sports Kansas City giving away the road replica jerseys. Good day for a blanket. Got him. So O'Sullivan gets out of it. That is his 3rd strikeout. The Mariners leave the bases loaded. for Sean O'Sullivan, and in the fourth he got around the bases loaded and 1 out. Here's an update on today's You Call It, presented by Sprint. The toughest ace the Royals have faced so far, 66%, well aware of what Jared Weaver did to the Royals on opening day, and he has quite a margin over Felix Hernandez, who has 15%. The Royals scored against Hernandez in the second inning, but now he has struck out 3 of the last 4 hitters. Melky Cabrera doubled with 1 out. Mike Aviles got him to the plate. One ball, 1 strike. Alex at the moment has a team high 9-game hitting streak and is batting .339. Off of Smoke's glove, and it's a 10-game hitting streak. Well, Justin Smoke went as high as he could. He got some leather on it, but he couldn't hang on.
When you take a look at this swing, man, this ball was really crushed. You can see it start to just sink right over the glove and just got right on the end of that glove and just kept going. He hit this ball very well.
Now Billy Butler, and Hernandez struck him out in the first inning. Blocked by Jimenez, and Alex stays put. Alex is one of the few Royals that is without a stolen base. Billy is 4 for 8 in this series. Fastball at 95.
Well, his fastball has a lot of run to it. It runs down into a right-handed hitter. Well, his sinker's working. That's what makes him really tough.
Down and away, 2 balls, 1 strike. Hernandez has already picked someone off today. He got Aviles in the second inning right after Mike drove in Melky Cabrera, although that had more to do with Aviles slipping. Three and 1.
Well, this will be a good time for Alex to run if he wants to run here, because he can run under protection of Billy, putting the ball in play. And I would think Hernandez would be more concerned about throwing a strike right here than holding the runner close at first base.
Ball 4, and Hernandez second walk. .52 pitches with nobody out in the fourth inning. He is averaging almost 110 pitches per start. In fact, he is going about 7 1/3 innings per start, which is a big number these days. Depending on how you look at it, the Royals are getting Felix Hernandez at either a good time or a bad time. Good time because on Monday he gave up 7 runs, 12 hits to the Toronto Blue Jays in 6 innings. So he's not coming off a good start, as Keela was looking to lay one down. However, most great pitchers, and he is a great pitcher, don't normally have 2 clunkers in a row.
Well, that's true. I'm surprised that Keela gave that fastball away like that, you know, to fake a bunt without actually trying to bunt the ball. So I'm not quite sure what he was trying to accomplish on that pitch there. You give away your first pitch fastball where you can be strong as a hitter.
Roll to the right side. Smoke will go down to second. So the Mariners get 1 out, and the Royals have runners at the corners.
I say you gave away your fastball. Now you got to hit a slider and you hit over the top of it. And Justin Smoke takes he's moving towards second base, so he takes the easy out at second base and keeps the double play in order.
And now Melky, who doubled on a bloop to shallow center field, hustling out of the box. 3 Mariners were chasing. And when it dropped in front of Langerhans, Melky slid into second base and then scored on the Mike Aviles single. Outside, ball 1. Melky had been 0 for 7 before that second inning double. Changeup is pulled foul.
It's one of those times, Ryan, with Hernandez being a sinker baller, you're in this situation. You want to try to make him get the ball up so you can get the ball out to the outfield.
It stayed down. It's sliced to left. Saunders makes the catch, but he'll play it to second base. So Cabrera has scored, and now he has driven in a run, and the Royals lead 2-0.
No, he does really neat here, Ryan. This breaking ball going down and in. He doesn't try to pull it, which would have not made him roll over and hit a ground ball. He went right with this pitch, hit it the other way, and that's how you get that ball up off the ground. That's a great piece of hitting by Cabrera, and you can see Alex Gordon scoring very easily.
Still very early in the season, but the Royals have really turned around their situational hitting lately. They were not very good in the first homestand against the Angels and the White Sox, but since then, there have been very few runners at third base with less than 2 outs that the Royals haven't gotten home.
Kevin Seitz, all he talked about was controlling your emotion in that situation. Don't put the pressure on yourself when it's on the pitcher. Get the pitch you need to get and just try to put the ball in play.
Pops out of Jimenez's glove. 1 ball, 1 strike. Aviles drove in his 8th with his first single of the year. It's his 7th hit of the season. But his first 6 were extra base hits. He starts at third base for a second consecutive game. So that means Wilson Betemit, with his 8-game hitting streak, is on the bench. Good pitch over the outside at 95. 1 ball, 2 strikes. What are you going to do with that pitch?
Same thing Mike did with it. Just let it go. If you hit it, you're going to break your bat or pop it up or follow it in the stands. So there's not much you can do with a pitch like that.
Still 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And with 2 strikes, you just hope you can just get enough bat on it and give yourself another pitch and hope he gives you a better pitch to hit, which is what he did there. And Mike fouled the ball off.
Drilled to third, almost knocked Figgins over. So the inning is over. The Royals take a 2-0 lead. Hernandez, because he is a Cy Young winner, but right now he is being outpitched by Sean O'Sullivan.
Well, Sean is just following the line of all the Royals pitchers, Ryan. They're coming out here with a lot of confidence, knowing they can make their pitches, and everybody's really competing. And when you have a team that's competing, this is the kind of performance you get.
It's familiar territory for Felix Hernandez. He's not pitching badly, but he's not getting any run support. Give Sean O'Sullivan credit for that. Both have gone 4 innings. O'Sullivan's given up 1 more hit. Hernandez has 2 more strikeouts, but O'Sullivan has given up 2 fewer runs. Brendan Ryan takes a strike, thought about laying one down to the third base side. He doubled with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Ichiro Suzuki then grounded out on the defensive play of the game by Alcides Escobar, and that saved a run. And now Brendan Ryan is 2 for 2. Here's another carsoup.com question to the booth. It is from Gray Red Hair from Hermitage, Missouri. Not to be confused with red gray hair. What year, Frank, can you think of to compare this Royals defensive team to another team?
Well, that's a tough one, Ryan. And we've been around a long time, so you have to go way back, and I don't know all the numbers from those years. But I would probably look at, in recent history, probably the '94 team that had Gary Gaetti at third, Greg Gagne at short, Jose Lean at second, and Wally Joyner at first. Can't remember who the outfield. I think Brian McRae might have been in center field, but I don't know who the other outfielders were in '94.
What about the 99-2000 teams? You were a coach, and that was Damon, Beltran, Dye in the outfield, Randa, Sanchez, Fabulous on the infield.
So that was very good.
Pretty good.
That's a pretty good defensive team, yes. Well, I think the one thing that really helps this team so far is that you've got guys pretty much at one position every day. You don't have a lot of bodies moving around, and I think that's what really added to the defensive problems of the Royals last year. You had so many guys moving around that you don't have the same consistency on defense, where, Alex is in left field and Cabrera, for the most part, is in center. Francoeur is in right. You got Escobar, Getz at second, and you just have a minimal change at first, and Navilas and Betterman at third. So I think guys are in positions where they can focus on one thing every day, and that's playing defense in that one position. I think that's really helped this ball club a lot.
Thank you very much. Gray, red hair from Hermitage, Missouri. A slow roller to the left side, and Aviles will go the short way. And that was a good play for a couple of reasons. Most notably, a shorter throw as opposed to trying to throw out Ichiro Suzuki.
Well, you're right, and I don't know if Chris Getz was respecting his throw to come his way, but he made the adjustment quickly, and Mike made the right move on this play here to always take the short throw to get the lead runner if you can get him.
So here we go. We showed you the number earlier. Sean O'Sullivan now, second time through the order. He's retired Suzuki 3 times today, and he's gotten Sean Figgins twice.
I think the difference in Sean today might be the fact that he's got 3 pitchers that are working today. If you got 3 pitchers working, you can get through the 3rd round. You got your fastball with movement, your changeup is there, his slider has good depth to it, and he's throwing them all for strikes.
The Royals feel like they haven't seen his best yet in the minor leagues, and he did nothing but achieve in the minors. Drafted in '05, he won a minor league ERA title in '06 and in '07. He was the Angels minor league pitcher of the year in 2007. 2 strikes on Sean Figgins. In 2008, he led his league in wins, and he was in the big leagues in 2009. So 4 years after he was drafted, He was in the major league. He's still only 23 years old. Thought about it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he has to be pretty fired up about starting today, because coming out of spring training, he was the odd man out of the rotation. He was going to be the Royals' long reliever, mostly because he has experience doing that. Vin Mazzaro did not. But after Vin Mazzaro walked 7 in his first start in less than 3 innings, the Royals felt like he needed a little more work in the minor leagues. So by default, O'Sullivan is plugged into the rotation, and he's making the most of it.
Well, I agree with that, Ryan. And this is all about opportunity here. You get an opportunity to start a ball game. You got to go out. You got to make an impression, and this is a very competitive ball club. I mean, there's a lot of things that these guys are playing for, and they know that they've got prospects down below, 2 levels deep. So they know that if they want to be a part of this club going forward, they've got to put their best foot forward now, and I think they all realize that. And I think the common theme that you hear is everybody likes everybody, and everybody's pulling for everybody.
Dyson retires Sean Figgins. So the top 3 hitters in the Mariners lineup tonight are combined, or today, 0 for 7.
Well, usually when you wear your glasses, they're probably in a spot that you can use them in the sun. So obviously he's not in the sun, but the Royals do have a policy that you can't wear your glasses over your logo of your hat. In that they want to keep the respect of the team logo, and that's why they wear it on the back of their hats.
Those sunglasses must be a lot better than the flip glasses, because we've seen it happen a few times where a player has decided he doesn't need the sunglasses, but then if a ball is hitting a certain angle and he realizes he does, there's no time to pull those off the back of the hat and put them on your head. But the flip sunglasses are always available when you need them.
They're always there, and a lot of guys don't know how to use flip sunglasses. And when we had them to the point where they were sensitive enough that when you went back, all you do is tap the bill of your hat and they flip down. Where the guys today will fumble with them a little too long, and then cause a problem for themselves. But they were simpler for me to use.
Now, I won't name names, but a few years ago there was a particular Royals infielder that happened to be in the outfield one day, and he had his sunglasses on the back of his hat, and he lost a ball in the sun, hit him on the side of the face. And then when we got on the plane after the game, he had sunglasses on.
For a different reason.
Much to the chagrin of then Royals manager Buddy Bell. So at least when he took the field, he needed sunglasses.
The sun must have moved.
We hope.
I think Alex still has his glasses down.
Sean O'Sullivan has struck out 4, and he has 5 scoreless innings. Here's how the Royals have scored today. Mike Avila's got his first single of the year in the second inning, driving in Melky Cabrera, who had doubled. And then Cabrera with a sacrifice fly. That scored Alex Gordon. And the closest the Mariners have come to a run today. They lost a base hit and an RBI when Escobar made that diving play on Ichiro Suzuki. Sean O'Sullivan also got out of a bases loaded 1-out spot in the fourth. And Sean O'Sullivan being congratulated in the Royals dugout after hearing from manager Ned Yost. So it looks like he is done after 5 scoreless innings. Remember, he was conditioned to be a long reliever. Even though he was battling for a spot in the rotation for most of spring training, there were still several days to go, maybe even a couple of weeks, when the Royals made the announcement that Vin Mazzaro would be the 5th starter. So 5 innings and 83 pitches is enough for O'Sullivan today, and the Royals are going to need at least 4 innings from the bullpen. Two and 1 on Escobar. And it looks like it'll be Tim Collins when we get to the top of the 6th. Remember, the Mariners loaded their batting order today with left-hand hitters against Sean O'Sullivan. And O'Sullivan's numbers show that he is better against lefties than he is against righties. So that played into his strength, and it's a perfect setup of hitters for Tim Collins. Three balls, 2 strikes on Escobar.
Yeah, his fastball still has a lot of run to it, and that's at the top of the strike zone.
On the ground and past Figgins. It is an error on Figgins. So Escobar does not extend his hitting streak, but he's on with 1 out.
I really call this an error right here, Ryan, because, the ball's right in front of him, but it's almost like he was trying to figure out how to catch the ball and bounce to his feet at the same time. He just went right off the heel of his glove. It looks like a tougher play when you see it live eye.
And now you have Escobar and his 3 stolen bases at first base. And you can expect that if he gets a jump, he will take off. You have 2 hitters coming up for the Royals, Dyson and Getz, who don't hit for a lot of power. Not running. And Dyson takes ball 1. Gerard walked and stole his 4th base in the first inning. And then Hernandez struck him out in the 3rd. We apologize for the foggy picture from our center field camera. That has to do with the wind, which is whipping up the mist from the fountains in center field. One ball, 1 strike on Gerard Dyson. Back in 2006, the Royals, for the first and only time in franchise history, they had the 1st overall pick, and they took Luke Hochevar. In that same draft, their very last pick in the 50th round was Gerard Dyson out of Southwest Mississippi Community College. 1 ball, 2 strikes. What do they call him in the NFL, the last pick? Mr. Irrelevant?
I was going to say that the 50th pick is like signing from a tryout camp. That's the way I had to do it.
Normally you're just filling out rosters when you get it that low in the draft. 2-2, and the question comes up, well, is that the lowest draft pick ever to make it to the big leagues? But where was Al Cowens drafted? Wasn't he like in the? He was way down there, wasn't he? And it used to be beyond the 50th round.
Yeah, he used to play with us. He played with us a little bit in the academy in the instructional league. I'm not sure how low he was. We need to contact Art Stewart. He would know.
Dyson in the lineup today, and that shifts Jeff Francoeur out of the lineup. Francoeur had a big game last night, a 2-run home run, drove in 3, and he scored twice. Dyson strikes out. Escobar flinched over at first base as if he was going to take off, but didn't like his jump, so he's still standing there with 2 down.
But it's that fastball that starts in at the hip and runs back out over the corner, and Dyson gave with this pitch and just didn't have anything to swing with. And Escobar's he broke like he was going to go. Well, just testing the waters, I guess. You know, Al Collins is one of those guys too, Ryan, that made the jump from AA to the big leagues. So he came on pretty fast.
After exhaustive research in the truck, Al Collins was drafted in the 75th round. How about that? He was the 1,026th overall pick in that draft. They don't even have a 51st round now, let alone a 75th round.
I think you had a few more minor league teams back then too. I mean, we had 3 rookie league teams, 2 A-ball teams, a AA team, and a AAA team.
One and one to Chris Getz, and the Mariners know something about pitching to him. Chris batted just .231 against Seattle last year, and now in this series he is 0 for 9. Coming off a productive homestand, or a road trip rather, at Detroit and Minnesota. Again, Escobar starts and stops, and it's fouled away by Getz. So Escobar's trying to go, and now he is banging the excess dirt off of his spikes with his helmet. The area around first base has quite a bit of that diamond dry compound to try and keep the dirt from getting too soggy. What's the traction like on diamond dry?
You know, it depends on how much moisture they put it over. Your first couple steps are going to be kind of like what you saw at Aviles. It's still going to be pretty loose underneath there. And you just hope that you can get footing on your first 3 steps, and then you're out of it, and you can continue on the second base. But you can see there how loose it is. So you got to make sure that footing-wise, you can get in there. So baseball spikes are not like football spikes. You can go in and change the length of the cleat on them. You know? So you got to really fight there. Now, what a lot of base runners will do is the running path itself might be a little soft, but just in front of it or just behind it might be a little firm. So rather than getting in the path where everybody's been taking their shuffles off the bag, either move up in front of it 1 step or move behind it 1 step.
You got a pretty good jump here, and Getz floats it over Ryan, and Escobar will keep running to third base.
So that 1-2 count's a good count to run on, and he's running, thinking there's going to be a breaking ball. Hernandez gets a fastball out over the plate. He does a good job of swing with this pitch. And Escobar never broke stride at second base and made it to third easily.
That was almost bad luck for the Royals, because Brendan Ryan was running over to cover second base. He almost ran right into the ball.
You always tell the hitters never hit the ball in the middle of the field on hit and runs. You let everybody's conversion to the middle, just what you were speaking of.
So first and third with 2 down. Alex Gordon at the plate. And with his single in the 4th inning, Alex has a 10-game hitting streak. To center field. Back goes Langerhans. Still back. It's over his head. Alex will drive in 2, and the Royals lead 4-0.
Well, it's hard to tell you how good a swing this was. I mean, this slider was down, and Alex stays down through this pitch. I mean, he gets good leverage on this hit. He got a stiff front leg, a stiff front side. He got down through this ball. He drove this ball. And this wasn't a bad pitch from Hernandez. He picked on a good slider down, and you see Escobar comes across, does what he's supposed to do, clean the trash out of the way for the next guy, and Chris Getz scores. But that was an excellent pitch to hit. And I mean, I'm sorry, an excellent pitch for him to throw, but a better job of hitting from Alex Gordon on that slider.
So Alex has driven in 11. That helps Sean O'Sullivan's bid for a win today. It also ties Alex for the team lead with Jeff Francoeur with those 11 runs driven in. And now Alex in scoring position for Billy Butler. And a fastball is in for a strike. Blocked by Jimenez. Kyle Herman from Manhattan, Kansas writes in our carsoup.com email to the booth, Frank, do you think Alex Gordon can keep this up?
I think so. I think he's got the ability to do this and even a little bit more. I've seen him at his best. He's had a couple years to try to figure this out. He made the mental change that he needed to make some changes in his game, and he came in early, worked on it, had success in spring training, and carrying it over. So I think if he stays with the program, there's no reason to think he won't continue to swing the bat the way he is.
There is absolutely nothing Billy Butler or anybody else can do with that pitch. I mean, down and away at the knees and in the strike zone.
If he stays out there, Billy can take it the other way, but he just giving him a good assortment of pitches. You know, that's kind of the funniest you're going to see Billy look on a pitch where he had to almost commit to swinging a bad slider.
Goes to the opposite field. Suzuki has a great arm. Alex to the plate. He beats the throw, and the Royals lead 5-0. How about that adjustment?
Well, that's what we're talking about. You stay out there and you stay out there. He'll make the adjustment and go out there. And he did the same thing last night. And Hernandez didn't. If you don't come inside to make a hitter honest, and you keep him out there, you've already taken him out there. Just a matter of whether or not how much of the plate you're going to give him to use. And Billy did a great job of just going out there and serving this ball in the right field. I mean, his eyes get huge when he sort of make contact with the ball. But you see, he just used all hands right there. Just stayed right with that pitch. And then we talked last night about his ability to think at the plate and understand what pitchers are trying to do to him. He does that as well as anybody.
Popped up, and Figgins didn't see it. Wow.
Well, I say when it rains, it pours. I mean, when your team is not playing well, then all these kind of things happen to you. And when you're playing great, all these plays are made. And he had glasses.
Man. Now, you won't expect Billy Butler to run here. However, I must point out, this is Billy's 547th Major League game. He has one stolen base. One. And it was 2 years ago. And the catcher was Chris Jimenez. It was against the Cleveland Indians. David Huff was pitching for Cleveland, and Chris Jimenez, who is one of the nicest guys in Major League Baseball, but at the moment has the distinction of being the only catcher that Billy Butler has a stolen base against in his career. No swing, 2-2. And with Billy's great recall, he probably knows that.
Oh, yes. The one stolen base, he would definitely know that. He may be thinking about the 3 in spring training, though.
That's right. Now the Mariners having a tough time finding this one, and coming in from center is Langerhans. Brendan Ryan didn't see it right away. The Royals add 3 in the 5th. With the Royals in front 5-0, he will watch the rest of the game from the bench. He is today's Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment.
Well, first start grinding it. He's done an excellent job today and just kept the ball down, used his slider, changeup, and fastball, mixed it well, and got through 5 innings.
That inning was getting around a bases loaded 1 out. So Tim Collins is the Royals' Chevy call to the bullpen. Collins had a chance to close out the game last night, and the Royals had a 5-run lead going into the 8th inning, a 4-run lead into the 9th. Collins walked Jack Cust, whom he faces now, and Adam Kennedy, and then was removed. Both of those runs came around to score, and the first 2 earned runs allowed by Tim Collins in his short major league career. Jack Cust is singled. He has flied out to left field.
Well, after coming in last night and issuing 2 walks and on a miserable night, it's probably a pretty good idea to have him back out there today, and so you have to sit around and think about that. I know that most teams would rather have 2 lefties in the bullpens so that you can kind of balance them out. But I think if you ask Tim Collins, he's glad to get back out there after last night.
It is the manly thing to say these days. I'm not making any excuses. However, I mean, those guys just sat and froze in the bullpen all night and then have to come in and throw strikes when their hands are cold. They don't have the same feel, the same grip on the seams that they normally do. And it wasn't just Collins, but it was also Joaquin Soria who had a bad time. Good start here. He gets Cust with a strikeout this time around. 1 away in the 6th inning. Here's today's AT trivia question. Who are the 3 players with 2,000 or more hits since the 2000 season? 2,000 or more hits since 2000. One of them's in the house. Ball 1 to Justin Smoke, who's hitting 5 straight after a 4th inning single. I think the other one went to high school around here, or one of the other ones. Well, you guess. I'm not allowed to play this game.
Well, I'm listening to you. That's not my show.
Yes, it is.
So they would have to have 2,000 hits
Since 2000.
Man. So, you know, Ichiro is probably going to be one.
Yep.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to say Michael Young, maybe.
Okay. I'm going to say Albert Pujols is one of them. Just missed. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Just a little bit outside. Good height on it.
And now walk to Smoke, so 1 on, 1 out. Action. Coming up on Tuesday, the Royals will take on the Indians at 7:10, and the first 10,000 fans receive a Royals t-shirt presented by Farmland. This is t-shirt number 2 out of 7 to add to your collection. Go to Royals.com/T-shirt Tuesday if you'd like more details. Royals Major League moments.
Well, let me see. We could probably go with A-Rod, maybe. Or Derek Jeter.
Well, Jeter's coming up on 3,000 hits. His rookie year was 96, so that'd be a good choice.
I'll stay with Jeter on that one.
How about Todd Helton?
Good call.
Luis Rodriguez has singled and he has walked. One ball, 2 strikes. Luis Rodriguez is one of 3 switch hitters the Mariners have in their batting order today, with Sean Figgins and Justin Smoke, who is the runner at first base. Two and two. Count goes from 0-2 to 3-2. Royals bullpen was so good during the road trip, with a 1.72 ERA in 5 games, and it was a winning road trip. And the 4 Royals rookies in that bullpen combined for 10 1/3 scoreless innings. And Tim Collins' 2 runs last night are the first 2 that he has allowed. Alex runs to the line. It's out of play. Today's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefebvre with Frank White, Joe Goldberg, producer Kevin Schenk, director Steve Kurtenbach. Associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, and the producer of Royals Live is TJ McGinnis. The rest of our crew is a lot more comfortable today than they were the last 2 days, with all of the rain on Monday night, or Thursday night and Friday night. Mike Meyer can finally feel his fingertips. The umpires said it's okay for him to blow into his hands today. Left center field and deep. Will Dyson get this one? No. Smoke to third base, and he'll be held there. Rodriguez has his second hit. So 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out for Seattle.
Well, you paint yourself in the corner when you keep a hitter, and the hitting count is 0-2 to 3-2, and he's got to throw the ball in there. And Rodriguez was sitting there waiting on the fastball. He put it in a good spot in left center field.
So the Mariners trying to do today what they did last night. Put some runs on the board late in the game. They had 1 hit going into the 8th inning last night. And then they scored a run in the 8th against Blake Wood and got 3 hits. And then 3 runs on 1 hit in the 9th, thanks to 4 walks. And now Collins jumps ahead of Michael Saunders, who is 0 for 2. Saunders grew up as a Mariners fan. He is from Victoria, British Columbia, which is just a ferry ride from Seattle. Kevin Schenk might remember this. Was Aaron Guile from Victoria, British Columbia. Kevin says very confidently, that sounds right. Still 0-2 on Saunders. Either way, Saunders grew up rooting for the Mariners, now playing for the Mariners. He has Smoke at third, Rodriguez at second. And he's blown away by a fastball. 93 miles an hour, and that's Collins' second strikeout of the inning.
Well, he's not afraid to use this fastball, especially to a lefty. This ball has some pop on it. This by Simons before he even gets the swing of this pitch. I don't know if he's looking off speed or what, but Collins blew that fastball right by him.
So Chris Jimenez, who is 0 for 2, and he is struck out, and he takes strike 1. Mariners had the bases loaded with 1 out in the 4th inning, and at that point it was a 1-0 game, so they let that opportunity slip away. They got a 1-out double in the 3rd inning. Ichiro Suzuki lost a hit and an RBI in Escobar's diving play, and now they're 1 strike away from not scoring with runners at second and third and 1 out. Okay, who are the 3 players with 2,000 or more hits since the 2000 season? Miguel Tejada.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I wouldn't have gotten that one either. Al Broughton strikes again. And somehow Jimenez laid off that curveball.
That curveball had a lot of bite to it. I mean, just right down inside. Almost had a slider type break to it. Real tight.
Just missed.
Tim Collins really wanted that pitch there, right? He was ready. He was ready to get off the mound with some emotion. You can see right there, that's on the outside corner, and he just wants this pitch right now.
Boxtrax says it's a strike, and then Trainer tried to frame it and make it look a little more appealing, but Ted Barrett wouldn't go for it. Still 2-2.
We talk about a great setup. I mean, that curveball down and in under the swing, and come back with a fastball knee high on the outside corner. He's ready to jump off the mound with a ton of emotion out of that pitch, but he didn't get it. But they set that pitch up very well.
He got that call. Doesn't quite jump off the mound, but he strikes out the side. there today, and he strikes out the side, pitching a scoreless top of the 6th inning. And he finished off the Mariners by getting Chris Jimenez. There was a walk and a double mixed in there, and the Mariners leave runners at 2nd and 3rd. There's a little emotion. So a scoreless 6th for Tim Collins and a 5-0 Royals lead.
With that, Ryan, we'll go to our Sonic Slam. This is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Susan Taylor from North Kansas City, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run this inning, Susan will win $1,400. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Susan will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals.
Melky Cabrera, Mike Aviles, and Matt Trainer coming up. Mariners make a Chevy call to the bullpen. It's Aaron Laffey. Laffey pitched a scoreless bottom of the 8th inning last night. Right to Brendan Ryan. So Melky is out. He is 1 for 2 today with a run scored and an RBI. So the Royals get Felix Hernandez for 5 runs in 5 innings. Now 3 of those runs were unearned. But still averaging 7 1/3 innings in his first 3 starts, and the Royals knock him out after 5. Maybe the hardest hit ball off of Felix Hernandez was Mike Aviles' line out to 3rd in the 4th inning, which almost knocked Sean Figgins into the Royals bullpen.
Oh my goodness.
Mike also has an RBI single today that drove in Melky Cabrera in the 2nd inning. And down he goes this time on just 3 pitches. As part of our Fox Sports Supports charitable initiative, we are proud to wear these pins during the 2011 MLB on Fox Sports Kansas City this season to support Stand Up to Cancer in their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. For more information, please visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. Fox Sports Supports. One and one to Matt Trainer. 0 for 2 at the plate, but behind the plate, he's been back there for 6 scoreless innings, 5 from Sean O'Sullivan and 1 from Tim Collins. And a slow roller is going to dribble foul off to the third base side. Also during the upcoming series with the Indians, which begins on Monday, Wednesday night, students can purchase a ticket for just $7. It's Inc. Student Night. That's with a valid high school or college ID. Plus, get a hot dog and beverage for just $7. This Wednesday, Inc. Local Music Showcase with support from 96.5 The Buzz will feature music from Scratch Track. That's before the Royals and Indians at 7:10. Gates will open at 5:30. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And we'll do it again. Well, this is a familiar spot for the Mariners and for Felix Hernandez. No run support for him. Last year in winning the Cy Young, he went 13-12. And in his first 10 losses, the Mariners scored a total of 10 runs. What would his record be if he was on a team with a very productive offense? Last year he faced the Royals twice and was 0-1. The Mariners only scored 4 runs for him in those 2 starts combined. None today. Up the middle, Brendan Ryan picks it off, And Matt Trainer is out to end the bottom of the 6th inning. For being our Sonics Slam player, Susan Taylor from North Kansas City, Missouri, will receive 2 tickets to a future Royals game. Is proud to be the official drink of the Royals and the Fox Sports Kansas City broadcast booth. Look for these special edition Frank White Pepsi Max cans at your neighborhood Hy-Vee. And on Saturday, April the 30th, Frank will be at Hy-Vee in Gladstone from 11 a.m. to noon. This is where you take a sip, Frank. Here you go. So stop by and say hi and get a free can of Pepsi Max, or as we like to say, go get you a can of Frank. Jeremy Jeffress will pitch the 7th inning. Sean O'Sullivan has 5 scoreless innings. Tim Collins 1 scoreless inning. Royals have struck out 7 today combined. So Jeffress will get the 9 1-2 hitters coming on for the 5th time this year. He got his first major league save on Wednesday afternoon in Minnesota. Brendan Ryan, Ichiro Suzuki, and Sean Figgins coming up. And some pretty good heat for strike 1 to Brendan Ryan. He has 2 of Seattle's 6 hits. He doubled in the 3rd inning with 1 out, singled leading off the 5th, but both times did not come around to score. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. Jeffress coming over with Alcides Escobar and the Zach Greinke trade during the offseason. He was the Brewers' 1st-round pick in 2006 out of South Boston, Virginia. Got that pitch up to 97. He came on in the 8th inning on Wednesday in a save situation. The Royals then added runs in the 9th and won the game 10-5, but Jeffress still qualified for the save, staying on for the 9th. So 1 major league save to go with 2 major league victories. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes on Brendan Ryan.
Ryan does a good job of just trying to hit the ball the other way. 2 hits off Sullivan to right field, just trying not to overswing. I think Jeffress had to learn how to do two Ryan, just move that fastball in and out. Right now it's just fastball down the middle, just to maybe get a little bit of movement to it. He's got an excellent curveball, but he didn't see the same area with Crow. They don't have that 3rd pitch yet.
Below the knees, that one at 99 miles an hour.
enough to make your shoulder hurt. Just thinking about
all the way up here. Out of play. Jeffress was telling us during the offseason that when he signed in the first round, he spent a portion of his signing bonus to build a driving range, a golf driving range in his hometown. His dad did most of the construction, but a lot of it had to do with his mom not allowing him to take his money and spend it on fancy cars. Leadoff walk. And now the top of the order in Ichiro Suzuki. Remember, you can secure your seat to the 2012 All-Star Game with season tickets. And when you buy 2 season tickets, you get 2 free, starting at just $7 per game. If you'd like details, go ahead and call 816-504-4040 or visit royals.com/2012. All-Star Game in Arizona this year, and right here at Kauffman Stadium next year. Ichiro Suzuki 0 for 3. We don't say that very often here at Kauffman Stadium. He has a 16-game hitting streak here. He's about to be 0 for 4 if Escobar can find it, and he does. He had the sunglasses on, and even that was almost not enough.
Well, you use your glove, you use everything to try to block the sun out so you can see the ball. But if the ball gets right in the middle of that sun, it doesn't really matter what you have on it. You don't see anything. So he did a good job using his glove to screen and keep the ball on the edge of the sun. That pitch from Jeffrey just tied Suzuki up. I mean, and the sun has definitely changed. That's that curveball. Guy throws 98, 99, and throws a curveball and drops off the table like this. That's tough duty hitting.
One ball, one strike to Figgins, who is 0 for 3 today and 2 for 12 in the series. Two and one. Top 3 hitters in the Mariners' order today are combined 0 for 11. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Make that 0 for 9. Suzuki 0 for 4. Figgins 0 for 3. Langerhans 0 for 2. My math was a little fuzzy. But before this inning is over, they might be 0 for 11.
Our center field camera's a little fuzzy too, so that's fine.
Back to Jeffress, who did a good job of keeping the ball off of his lips, and he made the play at the same time.
Well, you have to walk around and get the cobwebs out here, Ryan. It comes back faster than you threw it in there, and just to be able to react to this ball, luckily it's on the glove side, which helps. But the easiest thing to move on the body is the head. So you see how the head he clears the head out of the way. Put the glove right there. How long do you think he saw that ball?
He saw just a flash of it. Langerhans is 0 for 2 with a walk. Brendan Ryan at first base with a leadoff walk. And then Jeffress has come back to get Suzuki and Figgins. There's moving that fastball around. 1-1.
And one thing you want to do is just get in the habit of hitting the glove. And right now that ball had a lot of run to it. And it's supposed to be on the inside corner. So just get that precision down with your fastball, and that really helps you a lot.
And the breaking ball makes it 1-2. So Jeffress, knowing that he's lucky to be alive right now, has made 2 great pitches.
He definitely had, Ryan. That pitch was really designed to go down and in, but kind of slipped out and stayed on the outside corner. But you know, when a guy throws that hard, I mean, you don't have much time to make your mind on what you want to do.
99 miles an hour. Two and two.
I think if I had an arm like that and I could throw strikes, I think I'd have to go insure that thing. You just don't see arms that can throw that.
Can you do that?
I guess you can. Yeah.
Remember Mary Hart on Entertainment Tonight, and there was that rumor that she had a life insurance policy on her legs. Remember that?
I heard about that.
Well, can a pitcher insure his arm?
I would think you could.
I think so. To Chris Getz. And as I was saying, the top 3 hitters today are 0 for 11. Here's the in-game box score today. Alex Gordon has 2 hits. He has a 10-game hitting streak. Melky Cabrera has driven in a run. He has scored a run. Mike Aviles also has an RBI in his first single of the year. Josh Lukey will pitch the 7th inning. Aaron Laffey at a 1-2-3 bottom of the 6th with a strikeout. Alcides Escobar, Gerard Dyson, and Chris Getz coming up. Royals scored all 5 of their runs off of Felix Hernandez. 3 of those runs were unearned because of an error by Sean Figgins in the 5th inning. And Figgins, who's been fighting the sun today, lost a pop-up in the sun earlier, makes this play inside the bag, 1 down. Escobar is 0 for 3. We've been answering fans' questions today at carsoup.com, and we have one from Adam Gardner from Atchison, Kansas. Adam wants to know, Frank, if a pitcher commits an error, is that still considered an unearned run?
Yes.
However, this is a debate that's gone on and on. Should it be considered an unearned run? Dyson lays down a bunt, and Lukey has time to throw him out. So Dyson 0 for 3 today with a walk. The reason that pitchers are allowed to have unearned runs is because sometimes a run allowed is not their fault. Somebody makes an error. And so an inning should be over, or a runner should not be on base in the first place. So the runs are charged to him. But as far as his earned run average, runs that he has earned, that you can directly apply to his work on the mound, then it's not charged to his ERA. However, if he is the reason why, if it's his error, well, then why not make it an earned run? Getz hits it right to Rodriguez. Getz is 1 for 4 today. Royals down quickly in the 7th against Lukey. Panera takes us around the league. New York with a home run from Mark Teixeira. He has 5. They lead Texas. Texas is 10-3. Baltimore and Cleveland no score. We'll see the Indians beginning on Monday. Boston is in front 4-1. They're dying for a win. They are 2-10. LA at Chicago, Minnesota at Tampa Bay, Oakland and Detroit later today. Minnesota's lost 3 in a row. Detroit has won 4 straight. Jeremy Jeffress got around a leadoff walk in the 7th inning. He stays on for the 8th with Jack Cuss, Justin Smoke, and Luis Rodriguez coming up for Seattle. 1-1 on Cuss, who was struck out, singled, and flied out. Line to right field and sinking, so it drops in front of Melky Cabrera. And Jack Cuss, who's hitting 174, likes having a 2-hit day today. And for Seattle, that's their 7th hit today. Here's a carsoup.com email question to the booth. It's from Daryl Wagner of Webb City, Missouri. Frank, do you remember hitting a home run on a balk?
No.
Of course you don't. Thanks, Daryl.
No, I don't really.
Daryl, your thoughts?
Did I?
Well,
Daryl,
I guess.
Does Daryl think I did?
He must. Which, by the way, according to the rules, if a balk is called, but there's a play that ensues, then the offense has the option of either taking the balk or taking the result of the play. In that case, I think you'd have taken the home run.
Oh, definitely. I know there have been home runs called back because maybe the umpire called timeout. You know, that I've heard of that.
Yeah, ask Split about that rule. And Justin Smoke walks. So the Mariners have 2 on with nobody out. That's the second walk given by Jeffress in 2 innings. No television tomorrow, but we'll be back on the air on Monday. Kyle Davies and Carlos Carrasco will begin the 4-game series with the Royals and the Indians. Royals live with Joel is at 6:30. First pitch is at 7:10. Tomorrow it's Jeff Francis against Michael Pineda, who is one of the great young prospects that the Mariners are hanging their future on. Just a beast of a right-hand pitcher. Read a lot about him during the offseason. So a good matchup tomorrow. Jeff Francis has been excellent in his first 3 starts. Doesn't have a win.
Yeah, he's supposed to be easy 97, 98. Great arm. Got good height to him.
He is 1-1 in his first 2 starts. Pineda with a 2.7 ERA. Francis, no record, a 2.61 ERA. So 2 on, nobody out. And Luis Rodriguez, who's working on a perfect day. 2 hits and a walk. Moves back over to the left side of the plate. And he takes strike 1. Rodriguez starting the last 2 games at second for Seattle. Jack Wilson, their regular second baseman, is 0 for his last 13. Oh, and 2 up into the upper deck with a nice crowd today, over 22,000 here today. And when they arrived, it was gray and windy. Well, it is still windy, but the wind has pushed the overcast out of Kansas City, so it is a beautiful sky. It is a tough sky for the outfielders. Fans enjoying a 5-0 Royals lead in a gray road replica jersey. 99 miles an hour just inside to Rodriguez.
Well, they definitely like to have this pitch back. He threw his ball exactly where Matt Trainer wanted it, just a little bit off the plate.
And maybe somebody got engaged. Curveball, and that buckled Rodriguez and 1 away in the 8th inning. First strikeout for Jeffress.
Looks like the same place it was on the fastball, only just Ted Barrett had a little longer time to look at this pitch. Good break to it, right on the inner half of the plate. So it's all about eyes. Sometimes at 99 you don't get to see it as long as you do on the curveball.
Michael Saunders has had a tough day and a tough series. 2 strikeouts today, 1 for 10 in the series. His most painful at bat was in the 4th inning. It was a 1-0 Royals lead at that time. Seattle had the bases loaded with one out. Saunders flied to left, not deep enough to get the runner home from third, and then Jimenez struck out. And Seattle, with no runs, 7 hits, they've had their chances. They have left 9 on base. And they began this inning with 2 on, nobody out, and now 1 away after the Rodriguez strikeout. Pulled foul, 2-1. Sean O'Sullivan with 5 scoreless innings. Tim Collins a scoreless 6th. Jeffress a scoreless 7th. And still in there in the 8th. Two and 2. A win today, and the Royals will have, in their first 5 series of the year, 3 winning series and 2 splits. Two down. 100 miles an hour.
Wow. I mean, this is going to get on you in a hurry right here as a hitter. I mean, you look at this ball coming straight, and all of a sudden it starts to rise a little bit just from the velocity alone, and it's going to make you swing at this pitch. And this is well above the strike zone, but that ball had a lot of giddy up on it.
So again, the Mariners with runners, just not doing a very good job of moving runners. That is out of play off the bat of Chris Jimenez, who has struck out twice today and is 0 for 3. So the Royals going for their 4th consecutive win today. Seattle has lost 10 of 12. On Monday, they put an end to a 7-game losing streak. Ended up taking 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays in Seattle, and now they've lost the first 2 here at Kauffman Stadium. 1-1. Can you believe it's been 10 years since Seattle won 116 games, an American League record? I mean, that looked like a situation that would never fail. I mean, they were packing Safeco Field. They were making all that money from Japan with Ichiro Suzuki and Sasaki, Kazuhiro Sasaki, their closer. They just had a crowd of a little over 12,000 the other day against the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, Ichiro's really the only consistent thing about the team from an offensive standpoint. They've had such a big turnover of players. And this is by far the biggest struggle of the offense they've had in at least 5 years.
Slow roller to Aviles, and that's the inning.
5-0 immediately after the game on Boulevard Royals Live. Paul Splittorff and I will be out at Rivals. We'll break down the Felix Hernandez-Sean O'Sullivan matchup. Great job by O'Sullivan today. More Royals offense as they look for another win here. Highlights, reaction, and much more coming up. And guys, while I got the mic, I want to wish Ken Waller a happy birthday. Fantasy camper, 60 years old today, executive with Hy-Vee. So a happy 60th birthday to Ken Waller from Des Moines, guys.
All right, thanks, Joel. Brandon League takes over in the bottom of the 8th inning. The state of Hawaii is well represented in this series with Kanekoa Teixeira, Kila Kaihue on the Royals, and Brandon League, who was born in Sacramento, California, but grew up in Hawaii. Alex Gordon, diving play by Brendan Ryan. He didn't get him at first base, but what an effort. It's a 3-hit game for Alex. He already had extended his hitting streak to 10 games. But a sensational diving effort by Brendan Ryan in shallow left field.
Boy, this is a very difficult play. Alex hits his ball. It's really going away from Brendan Ryan, and he does an outstanding. Look how deep he is on the grass when he makes this play. And he gets up and makes as good a throw as he can, but Alex beats it out on the one hop. But, I mean, you look at where he started from, the ball's going away from him, and where he had to throw it from, outstanding play on his part. And he just made it very close at first base. That just gives you an idea how hard that ball was hit.
And a strike to Billy, who has driven in a run today. Yesterday, Billy had a chance to meet Bill Butler, who was an original Royal. And Bill Butler passed along a note to us. He wanted us to say hello to his brother, who's watching the game today, who is a retired Master Chief in San Antonio. So we thank him for watching. Brother Bill is thinking about you while he's out here in Kansas City and wanted us to pass along greetings. Hope you're enjoying the Royals' 5-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. What was that? Frank, your thoughts?
That was a changeup on a pickoff play. I'm not real sure. It's almost like he turned as if he wanted to throw to first, but when he got in the middle of it, he decided he didn't want to throw and let up on the throw.
Brandon League, your thoughts?
I mean, probably, what was I thinking? You know,
So Alex at second base for Billy, and he lines it to right field, but right at Suzuki.
It's one of those balls there where you're on second base, your initial reaction is to go back and tag. It's not going to be a base hit. And if it does drop, you can still get to third base. But if you go back and tag, now you have options of what you want to do when you come off the base.
So a couple of Hawaiians hooking up here, Kila and Brandon League. Talking to Kanekoa Teixeira, remember, he went to the Mariners last year in the Rule 5 draft, and he was with Seattle for a while, and then they just simply didn't have room for him on the roster, so they put him through on waivers, and that's how the Royals picked him up. But while he was with Seattle, he got a lot of help from Brandon League, and as is normally the case, a Rule 5 guy usually making the jump from A ball to the big leagues, so you're adjusting to a higher level of talent and a lot more distractions. There are a lot more distractions that are away from the ballpark to deal with at this level, and Brandon League was like a mentor to Teixeira. So an error, and now a wild pitch from Brandon League, and Alex Gordon is at third base with one out.
Keeley had to do some fancy footwork to keep this ball from hitting him in the foot. This ball's coming 97 miles an hour. He just had just barely got his feet out of the way of that pitch.
Mariners bring the infield in halfway. Three and one.
They're bringing it halfway here, Ryan. They think that the Royals with the 5-0 lead, Alex won't be going on contact. So they just want to make sure they can, if they have an option, they'll keep it from scoring. They don't want to bring it all the way in, but just to get a read on what he's going to do on the pitch.
And Keela walks. First and third, one away. Remember last year the Royals were in Seattle the first time they were there, and David Aardsma was injured, so Brandon League was the closer at the time, and he was having a bad time. He was getting booed off the field by Mariners fans, and the Royals were able to put a couple of late rallies together against him and winning a series in Seattle. Now they're trying to add on to a 5-0 lead in the 8th inning. Line caught at third by Figgins. He's had a rough day at third base today. Even the outs are difficult plays. 2 down. A couple of loud outs in the inning. Butler lining to right and Cabrera lining to third.
Well, I mean, that when a lefty shooting a ball like that, I mean, look at that. He had no time to do anything, but he probably feels like in a shooting gallery down there at third base today.
Mike Aviles 1 for 3 with an RBI. Speaking of hard hit outs, Aviles lined out against Felix Hernandez in the 4th inning, which still might be the hardest hit ball this game. And Figgins, we couldn't tell whether he was using his glove to make a play or using it as a shield.
Oh, I'll tell you that he's had 2 just like that one. And just all reactionary at third base.
Right center field. Suzuki is back, and it's over his head. Gordon scores. Keela comes around third. It's a 7-0 KC lead. Mike Aviles drives in 3 today.
That's what Mike's power is. You leave the pitch up out over the plate, and that's where he drives the ball in the alley. He stays right there with his head on the ball, and the ball just glides over Suzuki's head in right field. Look, he had a beat on it there for a minute, but the ball just continued to carry him. You see Alex Gordon trots around home plate, cleans up a little jump around the plate so the other hitter don't have to step on the bat. There's a lane for the second hitter runner to score.
So another extra base hit for Mike Aviles. He has 8 hits this season, 7 for extra bases. 2-0 on Matt Trainer. Aaron Crow looks like he's getting ready for the top of the 9th inning. Figgins, he's been busy all day, and a nice play to get Trainer. The Royals add 2 and lead 7-0. Chris has something to cheer about. The Royals are 3 outs away from going to 10-4 this season. Good day on offense, good day on the mound, good day on defense. Here's the Chevrolet play of the game.
Well, it came from Escobar, the play up Suzuki up the middle, and they saved a run. And you got a team that's having a hard time scoring runs. You make plays like this, that just kind of makes it offense on the other side. Feel like got to do a lot more to get a base hit. But Escobar right now has been a vacuum cleaner at shortstop.
So Aaron Crow will have a chance to close out the game. The Royals are going for their first shutout of the year. He'll get Brendan Ryan, Ichiro Suzuki, and Sean Figgins. The Mariners are trying to avoid being shut out for the first time this year. So even with all of their problems on offense, they have not been shut out. 96 for a strike to Brendan Ryan, who has 2 hits and a walk. Sean O'Sullivan, 5 scoreless innings. Tim Collins, a scoreless inning. Jeremy Jeffress, 2 scoreless innings. Chris Chambliss, which will make Royals fans shudder from the 1976 season. He is the hitting coach of the Mariners, his first year, and trying to get these hitters back on track after poor seasons at the plate at 09 and 2010, and off to a slow start this year.
Yeah, Chris, we remember him from 1976, home run game 5. Never forget it.
He'll never forget it. Watching the replay, it was a miracle he was even able to get around the bases.
Well, he had the elbow, get forearm shivers all the way around the base. But I tell you that was on the bench in that game, and the thing that really was amazing is after they won the game, how when people used to storm the field, and just
that used to happen all the time.
And just to see that mass of people going over the dugout, and some of them misjudging people falling in the dugout. They were all over the place, and just amazing just to see that for the first time. And I think that might have been the last time.
The ball popped out of Trainer's glove, and the bat went over Trainer and umpire Ted Barrett's head.
You don't see that very often where it goes straight behind the umpire.
Three balls, 2 strikes. That's about when I was really starting to get interested in the game as a kid, mid-70s, late 70s. And I remember that happened all the time when the World Series was over. Everybody would storm the field.
I remember in the 80 World Series, that's when they brought the policemen on the field with the horses.
Escobar with some help on a stretch from Keela retires Brendan Ryan.
But you can imagine how scary that is. You know, when you got thousands of people storming the field and you running the bases and you're trying to score, and it's unbelievable. People grabbing the bases, they grabbing turf, they grabbing dirt. I mean, most people out there to get souvenirs versus, cheer the victory. And it was kind of scary. I asked Chris about it a couple days ago, and he said that he still doesn't quite know if he touched home plate.
Nor does he care, right? He's just thinking about the clubhouse.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, how about now that home run was to right center field. And Hal McRae was in right field, right? That's a long run from the right field wall to across the field to get back to the third base dugout.
Well, I mean, you're out running the fans. I mean, that's the scary part is they're coming from everywhere, and you don't know if
you're the enemy.
You're the enemy. You don't know if they like you or not. So it's helter skelter, just trying to get, from one spot to the next.
1-2 on Ichiro Suzuki, who is 0 for 4. So he has lost his multi-hit streak at Kauffman Stadium. Now Aaron Crow trying to end his hit streak, which is at 16 games. And he does. 0 for 5. And that's about as much of a protest as you'll ever see from Ichiro Suzuki. Just a hesitation in the box before heading to the dugout.
Well, I can't even imagine. I can't think of the last time I've seen him strike out. You know, especially strike out looking. That's not something he normally does. He's going to swing at the pitch. If it's reachable, he's going to swing at it. So I agree with you.
22,364 at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals are 1 out away from taking the first 3 games from the Mariners and improving to 10-4. Sean Figgins is 0 for 4. 1-1. Top 3 hitters are a combined 0 for 12 for the Mariners. Two. Calls the same pitch on Figgins that he did on Suzuki.
Aaron Crow's got that good running fastball. Ball sinks very well, moves in on the right-handed hitters, and he got that hard breaking ball that he struck out Suzuki on, and what he just finished with that last pitch to Figgins.
Escobar charges, throws out Figgins, and the Royals are 10-4. They have played very well here at Kauffman Stadium. 7 wins, 2 losses, and that's the best home record since 2003 when the Royals started that year 11-0. A combined shutout, and what might have looked like a mismatch on paper as far as the pitching matchup, Felix Hernandez and Sean O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan outpitches Hernandez, and with 3 relievers combined for a 7-hit shutout. Royals getting 5 of the 7 runs off of Hernandez. So he drops to 1-2, and Sean O'Sullivan evens his record at 1-1. So the Royals have won the series and a chance tomorrow to go for a 4-game sweep. Let's go down to the field and check in with Joe Goldberg.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. Another Royals win. We've got a couple of guests down here. I want to talk real quickly with Alcides Escobar, young, showing incredible experience, and already, Alcides, the fans here love you in Kansas City. Frank White, who has 8 Gold Gloves, just called you a vacuum out there. How much do you love playing great defense?
I'm happy to play defense here. I'm in Kansas City. It's my dream is to get 1 Gold Glove.
All right, the dream is to get 1 Gold Glove. I think there are many more as well in the future if you keep playing like that. Just tell me, you had that play on Ichiro in the 3rd inning. How hard is that to get a guy with Ichiro speed?
That's hard play. Ichiro's good running. And when I see the ball, I catch the ball. I got a time to make it out and fair.
So do you have more plays to add to your cell phone? He's got video of some of the best defensive plays. You got more to add?
Oh, yeah, I got a couple on my cell phone, like play like this today.
Keep it up. You're going to load up that cell phone with great defensive plays. Alcides Escobar, good job.
Thank you.
All right, that is a young, talented Alcides Escobar. And now we have a still young and very talented Alex Gordon putting things together. And I know the fans are really enjoying not just what you're doing, but what the team is doing as well. How much fun are you having?
Yeah, a lot of fun. Great game today. Defense, bullpen, hitting, all around, just a great game by us.
You know, you sit one day, he finally got you out of the lineup. He was struggling to get you out of the lineup, gave you a day off, and you just picked up right where you left off. How good does the swing feel?
It feels good. You got a lot of guys on the bench that can do a lot of stuff. So, it didn't hurt us if I was on the bench and, Mitch was in there or Dyson was in there. So, anybody that's in there is going to play hard and do a good job.
Batting .373 right now, obviously the best start to your career. What's been different for you?
Just being aggressive, hitting in front of Billy Butler is a big help. You're going to get pitches a hit, and he's great at protection in the 4-hole.
Final thing, you were going up today against the reigning American League Cy Young Award winner, yet still able to get to him. What were you able to do against him?
He was tough. As you could see, we were striking out here and there, but we were just battling, trying to put good at-bats together and, somehow find a way to get some runs, and then kind of broke through there later in the, I think, 4th or 5th, so it was good.
Keep it going. Good job, Alex.
All right, thank you.
That is Alex Gordon. They love him. as well as Alcides Escobar, Ryan and Frank. I wanted to get Alcides in there. We haven't heard from him a whole lot. Still learning English, but he definitely knows how to play the game. Guys, let's go back upstairs to you.
All right, thank you, Joel. So Alex Sang just trying to battle and